Have you ever found yourself staring at your computer screen, tax season looming, and suddenly a wave of panic washes over you as you remember all those Venmo transactions throughout the year? You might be asking yourself, does Venmo even send tax documents? Or perhaps, if they do, how on earth do I get them? If these questions sound familiar, you're not alone. The world of digital payments has blurred the lines between casual money exchanges and taxable income, leaving many of us scratching our heads when it comes to tax time. Gone are the days when cash was king and your financial life was neatly contained within bank statements. Now, platforms like Venmo are integral to how we manage money, whether it's splitting dinner bills with friends, getting paid for a freelance gig, or selling that old couch you no longer need. But this convenience comes with a new layer of responsibility, understanding your tax obligations. The IRS is increasingly focused on ensuring that income earned through these digital platforms is properly reported. What was once a relatively obscure corner of tax law for a select few is now a common concern for millions of everyday users. The confusion is understandable. For years, the reporting thresholds for third-party payment networks like Venmo were quite high, typically requiring over $20,000 in gross payments and more than 200 transactions in a calendar year before a tax form was issued. This meant that most casual users never even thought about Venmo and taxes. However, the landscape has changed significantly, with the IRS implementing a phased approach to lower these thresholds. For tax year 2024, the threshold for receiving a $1,099K is $5,000. And while this threshold for 2024 has been raised from an initially proposed $600, it's a stark reminder that the IRS is paying closer attention. The plan is for the threshold to drop to $2,500 for 2025, and potentially as low as $600 for 2026 and beyond. This means that more and more people will be receiving tax documents from Venmo, even for activities they might not have previously considered taxable. So, whether you're a seasoned freelancer, a small business owner, or just someone who occasionally sells items online, it's crucial to understand how to get your Venmo tax documents and, more importantly, what to do with them. Because here's the critical point, even if you don't receive a tax document from Venmo, you are still legally obligated to report all taxable income to the IRS. That means if you're earning money for goods or services through Venmo, you need to be tracking it, regardless of whether a $1,099K lands in your inbox. This video is going to demystify the process, walking you through everything you need to know about Venmo tax documents, from eligibility to access, and what to do if you don't receive one but still have taxable income. We'll cover the specific forms Venmo issues, where to find them within your account, and important considerations for ensuring you're compliant with IRS regulations. No more tax season panic, just clear, actionable steps. Let's dive in. The first and most important thing to understand is which tax documents Venmo might issue. For most users, the primary document you might receive is a Form 1099K, payment card and third-party network transactions. This form reports the gross amount of payments you received through Venmo for goods and services. It's designed to help the IRS track income generated from various online and electronic payment methods. Now, it's crucial to distinguish between personal transactions and business transactions. If you're using Venmo to split a dinner bill with friends, pay back a loan to family, or receive a gift for your birthday, these are generally considered personal transactions and are not taxable income. Venmo is not supposed to issue a $1,099K for these types of personal payments, and you are not required to report them to the IRS. The key here is proper labeling within the Venmo app. When sending or receiving money, you usually have the option to specify whether it's for goods and services or friends and family. Always choose friends and family for personal reimbursements or gifts to avoid potential tax confusion. If you receive a $1,099K that includes personal transactions, you'll need to take steps to correct it or ensure you don't report those amounts as taxable income. On the other hand, if you're using Venmo to receive payments for selling products, offering services, or any other income-generating activity, those are considered business transactions. This includes everything from selling handmade crafts, freelancing as a graphic designer, or even selling items on an online marketplace where you accept Venmo as payment. These are the transactions that Venmo is required to report to the IRS if you meet the reporting threshold. For tax year 2024, you will receive a Form 1099-K from Venmo if you received more than $5,000 in gross payments for goods and services. This threshold is significantly lower than in previous years and is part of the IRS's ongoing efforts to ensure better compliance from the gig economy and online sellers. It's also important to note that some states have even lower thresholds, so even if you don't meet the federal threshold, you might still receive a 1099-K if you reside in or conduct business in a state with a lower reporting requirement. Beyond the 1099-K, there's another type of document you might receive, particularly if you engage in cryptocurrency transactions on Venmo. If you've bought, sold, or exchanged cryptocurrency through Venmo during the tax year, you will likely receive a gains and losses statement. This document helps you report any capital gains or losses from your crypto activity, which is also taxable. So, you've determined that you might be eligible to receive a tax document from Venmo. The next logical question is, how do I actually get my hands on it? Venmo typically makes these tax documents available electronically. They usually aim to have 1099-K forms ready by January 31st of the year following the tax year in question, and gains and losses statements for crypto by February 15th. You'll often receive an email notification when your documents are available. To access your tax documents, you'll need to log into your Venmo account through a web browser on a computer, rather than solely relying on the mobile app. While the app provides some access, the full Tax Document Center is best navigated on the desktop site. Here's a step-by-step guide to finding your Venmo tax documents. Log into your Venmo account on the Venmo website, go to venmo.com and sign in with your usual credentials. It's always a good idea to ensure you're on the official Venmo site to avoid phishing scams. Navigate to Settings. Once logged in, look for the Settings option. This is usually found in a sidebar or a drop-down menu, often represented by a gear icon. Select Tax Documents. Within the Settings menu, you should find a section specifically labeled Tax Documents or Tax Center. Click on this. Choose the relevant tax year. If you have tax documents for multiple years, there will likely be a drop-down menu or a list where you can select the specific tax year you need. With that said, thanks for watching and until next time.